and welcome to The Paper Thing, episode... What is it? It's 38, episode 38 of season 5 of The Paper Thing. With me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. Started a bit late today due to me having a work call. Sometimes happens. Unexpected work call. Unexpected call in the bagging area. So anyway, that's fine. I will move through at a speedy pace today and we'll get the show done nonetheless. Shouldn't end much later than usual. Just less fucking about. Hello, Mark Canosis. How are you doing? Hey, Slinker Meyer. Good to see you. Yes, good. Right. So it's a full paper show today. We've got the Sun, the Guardian, the Times, and the Daily Mail, and that will be our arrangement. Mark Canosis. Today you're being double tabbed with some delightful French folk dance music. Love it. Love it. Suits me. Yeah. So. It was actually a good work call, which is pretty rare, so I'm just going to go with that. And Mark has received an email that you need to share. Okay, share away, my friend. Right, let's start with The Sun. Front page of The Sun. Collate.org wishes to offer an amazing opportunity, okay? They're running a student writing competition where students must write a letter to any living politician, with the best letter winning £1,000, second winning £500, and third winning £250. Here comes the kicker. Judging the competition is Lord Charles Moore, ex-editor-in-chief of The Spectator, Phil Collins, ex-speechwriter for Tony Blair, and Olivia Utley, assistant comment editor at The Telegraph. Triple bullshit. Hey, C122, H122, you did not miss the stream. It just started late because I had a work call, which I had to take. It was a good work call. Means I'm going to be reviewing Succession tomorrow, which is good, amongst some other things. So happy about that. I don't know why I took the hoodie off. I'm actually cold. Dr. Fayad, thank you for subscribing with Prime Gaming. Much appreciated. Marknosis cannot enter that competition without getting referred to Prevent. Yeah, pretty much. Right, front page of The Sun, on the top right corner. Saj, get your jab in. The Sun says that he supports their Give Britain a Booster campaign. And how have they come up with that story? By asking the question, do you support our campaign, in yesterday's press conference? And when he said yes, turning it into a story. Main picture is of Kate... Duchess of Cambridge touching the back of the Duke of Cambridge, aka Prince William, and apparently that's amazing. Main story, the headline on the story: keep calm, ma'am, and don't carry on till you feel better. Remember, of course, that the keep calm and carry on posters were never used. Hoodies are the best, says C122, H122. Yeah, they are. It's just comfy. On page 3, which isn't page 3, but is page 3, keep an eye on the BRY. What the fuck is that? Model Brianna Holly knows how to set off a chain reaction in this outfit. Brianna, 28, wore a black bikini with a gold body chain. Whoopie-doo. More I'm a Celebrity news. I'm a Celebrity wanted stars to squat in bush. I'm a Celeb stars were due to do number 2s in the snake-infested bush in the show's original plans. Desperate contestants are known to hate having to take turns to clean out the show's dreaded dunny. The headline on this, knowing that Adam Woodyat is going to be in I'm a Celebrity, the headline is, does a Beale shit in the woods? But of course, S star. Good day, Gonzo Socialism. How are you doing? On pages 4 and 5, aides tell Queen 95 to rest for up to a week. Rein it in, mom, is the headline. Arthur Edwards, the Sun's royal photographer and weird person, sucks up to the royals as usual. Use of weapons says die queen die, which in German means the queen thee. Gonzo Socialism says, are you Havana a good day? I am Havana a good day, thank you. On page 7, charity kicks team in tackle. Silly ruggers raise cash in drag, snub over LGBT fear. Rugby players who dress up as women for charity have been snubbed by a hospice because their antics may offend the LGBT community, is the claim here. The kind-hearted lads have raised over £40,000 over 18 years for the hospice. The gang's Leo Sayer event, and all day sees them don ladies' attire for a fun picture before touring local pubs and collecting donations from supporters. But now the players from Upton Rugby Club Worcester have been warned it could be offensive. Oh, fuck off. How does the Queen know she's working? Yeah. Shrine says, at least when the Queen dies, Charles will be king and people might turn on the idea of royalty. Yeah, that's my hope. On pages 8 and 9, Jav puts boost in. Oh, fuck off. Son got me Vax top up, says an old lady. On page 11, it's Beyoncé. Beyoncé. Yeah, Beyonce on a yacht wearing a dress. Douglas Murray, the Autons... the representative of the Autons on Earth. Look at his incredibly photoshopped byline picture. Sorry, I nearly knocked my water over there. Keeping Charles from the throne is the only thing keeping her going. All the dogs around me started barking suddenly. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Dog whistle, dog whistle, dog whistle. Douglas Murray, why are we so paralysed into not talking about Islamist terror? It seems to me that Douglas Murray talks of little else. On page 11, the weather fearcast. Snow and storm chaos on the way. The Sun is obviously delighted. An LBC presenter who's an absolute piece of shit. His name is Steve Allen. Called Tilly Ramsey a chubby little thing. She's not happy about that, obviously. Headline on that, you Tilly old fool. Remember, though, of course, that the Sun is merely attacking this because Talk Radio is... Talk Radio, which Murdoch owns, is a rival of LBC. Fear everything and everyone. Fear, 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 says Recursive Rosie. Rod Little says, buy a heat pump, sure, when they cost less and work. Rod Little should heat his house with his own fucking hot air. On page 17, Adele wore a leather outfit. Whatever. Nasty little suckers, invasion of the body scratchers. The worst plague of fleas and ticks in years is expected to infest Britain. Far be it for me to say this, but it does seem like we're in a kind of biblical plague season here. LBC presenter is shit. Who knew? Imagine that. Mark Kenosis, well, at the moment, they're not talking about Islamist terror because they'd rather talk about online anonymity and expenses transparency, but give it time, yeah. More coverage of the woman who stabbed her husband. Murder trial, wife gives evidence. I killed hubby as he belittled my bubble and squeak, accused wife Penelope Jackson says. Final straw in row over veg dish. Knife husband had been abusive. They've buried the lead there, haven't they? Heat pumps are the new PPE VIP lane for Tories. Yeah, 100%. Page 21. Dad comes out of retirement to play in golf for his son's team. Unfortunately, they lose 14-0. Who gives a shit? My Eurovision Song Contest, the management team behind Dua Lipa are going to select next year's Eurovision Song Contest song for the UK, as if that will make any difference. Mark Kenosis is Team Penelope. Yeah, Mark Kenosis is also saying, too many of Islamic terrorists have been linked to the security services. The story's not as popular as it used to be. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Nicole Kidman is playing... Lucille Ball in a movie called Being the Ricardos. She looks very, very like her in that. Did they learn nothing from the Lorena Bobbitt coverage? No, they did not. Hey, SK, how are you doing? Use of weapons. If we want to talk about terror, let's talk about the mysterious disappearance of the brother of the guy who did the Manchester Arena bombing. MEN have decent coverage of it. Yeah, some of the other papers have been covering it too, but not hugely well. Jodie Kidd, who has a pub, says, pubs are our safe spaces. Stop them closing. On page 27, coughed up 41 million. Widow made fortune from Fisherman's Friends. A widow who turned Fisherman Friends into a global brand has left £41.4 million in her will. And Doreen Lofthouse continued a lifetime of philanthropy by bequeathing most of her fortune to charity. She should have paid more taxes while she was alive. Gonzo Socialism. Funny how this comes a couple of days after Jules Holland and Elton John ranting about Dua Lipa. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? SK Crusader. Hope everyone's excited to learn how to stop fascism from Paul Mason tonight. I will be tuning in. It sounds horrendous. That's SK Stream. What time? What about British terrorism against John Pat Cunningham? Well, exactly that. If you didn't read yesterday's newsletter, please do. Today's newsletter is, I think, a good one too. It's about the absolutely... appallingly irresponsible coverage of this so-called needle spiking. So check that out. Gran Britannia, minus, negative, nice, says E. Blair fan. SK the Crusader stream is on at 7 tonight. Do tune in. Mary Berry has become a Dame Commander. I wish that meant that you commanded like an army of dames. Stars fawn over show-off chef's big dish the critics say isn't well done. 24-carat idiots who pay £850 to eat steak covered in gold leaf. They're still on about Salt Bae. Like, honestly, who gives a fuck? Mark Canoe says, Dennis Hutchins dying was extremely funny. Sorry I missed the streams. Yeah, fuck him. Use weapons. I jab people with needles all the time. That was just how Zoomers say hi. Have I been misled? It turns out, yes. Right, TV recommendations. Beverly and Jordan Destination Wedding gets reviewed, not well. Guilt, BBC 2, 9pm tonight. Charlene White, Empire's Child, 9pm. ITV, All Creatures Great and Small. Channel 5, 9pm. And Handmade, Britain's Best Woodworker, Channel 4, 8pm. Johnny Mercer wished on a monkey's paw that he wouldn't have to face trial. Yeah. In Dear Deirdre, one night stand is a guilty secret. Bin him. Dad's happy with his rich lover while we struggle. Bin him. Help me to leave my abusive husband. 100% bin him. In agony, his drugs destroy my son. Do not bin him. Is sex a thing of the past for us? Bin him. Needle things end badly, whether it's mass hysteria or copycat instance. Yeah, the thing about this is, if you actually read what the experts say, and actually Vice World News had a very good report on it, experts say, like, it's very unlikely this is happening. And some of these people may have been spiked normally and then injured themselves in one way or the other. Like, anyway, read the newsletter. I go into it in fairly major detail. Bin them, bin sex, says Mark Canosis. No, thank you. Experts, I'm tired of experts. Use of weapons revealing themselves to be a sock puppet for Michael Gove. More content that will encourage eating disorders. Big Brother star in a 10-stone weight gain and why she turned to gastric surgery. I was in spiral of binging and taking laxatives for 10 years, says Chantal Hayes. Absolutely appallingly written. Mark, I'm sorry, I meant it's going to result in mass hysteria and or copycat incidents. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to result in incidents of people, like the troll tendency, the extreme troll tendency, making these happen. I think that most of it's bullshit. The use of weapons. Look, this stream goes well with my afternoon coke binge when I'm running whatever department Cover's in charge of in a Minecraft simulation. S-Grieve, thank you for following the channel. In the motoring section, they review the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which they give a good review. And I'll tell you why they give it a good review, because the Ford Mustang Mach-E is a sponsor of not only Talk Radio, but Times Radio. In the £50 letter today, Hannah Bryan says, "The Sun is right to urge people to get their COVID booster jabs. I went for mine at the day it was offered." Well, whoopee fucking do. It's very hard for some people to get them. Lots of people have been asking and not been able to. Good afternoon, Red Tixie. How are you? Right. And in the sport, Cabbage Patch Doll sacked Bruce Fury at Toon Army abuse. Thank Christ for that. Ronaldo, who else? Rescue Solskjaer. Give me your scores for the Sun. I'm going to go through the following papers pretty quickly because I started very late. Use of weapons. I send you a newsletter to my Russian ex who's very positive about it. Oh, thank you, use of weapons. Hello, Panic Future. How are you? Good to see you. Right. Going to speed run the daily. Speed run the Guardian, and then we will. Yeah. Sup. Right. Speedrun of The Guardian. The Guardian in 2 minutes. And off we go. Front page of The Guardian. The new drugs, lockdowns, £150 million illegal puppy trade. The Great Escape. How writers deal with loneliness. Presumably by turning it into pieces that they get paid for by The Guardian. Javid warns of 100,000 daily cases and urges MPs to lead by example. Today, Jacob Reeves Mogg in the House of Commons refusing to lead by example. Stupid robot got held hostage by the Egyptians, was released far quicker than Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe has been. Jesus. Elsewhere, thanks but no thanks. Newcastle's new owners urge fans to ditch Arabian outfits. Morocco, flights to and from UK suspended. Political squeamishness will deter PM from changing tack, even as numbers of cases soar, says Heather Stewart. Yeah, no shit. On the horizon, Facebook reported to be rebranding as controversies grow. Yeah, they're going to put on a special mustache. Patel seeks police briefing over reported needle spiking incidents in nightclubs. She might as well be asking about unicorns. Angry Conservatives' alleged Treasury report on costs of net zero have been neutered. They have. Spy robot. Egyptian officials release AI artist hours before her show. Yeah. The Foreign Office tried harder with that than they have done with Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe. Festival of Brexit is apparently going to be called On-Box Creativity in the UK. Seriously. That's the Spirit. Distiller captures carbon from air to make vodka. What's New Pussycat gets a 4-star review. In the arts, Life After Loneliness, and Adrian Charles says, all you can eat, I take those words as a challenge. Of course he does. And in the obituaries, Leslie Bricuse, composer and lyricist, and Mel Gooding, critic hailed for Artist Lives interviews for the British Library's Oral History Project. I'm going to have to go and see who that is. In the sport, hang on. In the sport, Seventh Heaven, Ronaldo lifts Solskjaer's United storm back. That is the Guardian in 2 minutes 54. Are you right?
Yeah, I thought I hadn't got my keys, but I did have my keys.
Oh, okay. Paige, haven't got your keys, but have got your keys. Panic. Speedrunning the Guardian is is when I start a conversation asking for humanity for the poor and end it demanding all trans people be detained in Azkaban. Person in the room getting the door. No, person in the room at the door. And she is now returned. Okay. On to the Times. Guardian rated by Gonzo Socialism as minus negative nice Adrian Childs meat sweat. Ditch Arabian Owners says shrines, yeah. Hello. There's person in the room passing by, locking person in the room out of the house because she won't let you have any more coins. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
No coins.
No coins. Right, here we go. The Times. Top of the Times. Spiked. Why young women are at risk. Yes, is the Times going to do the same kind of scaremongering as the Sun, just with some longer words? Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Main story. Javid warns daily COVID cases could hit 100,000. They absolutely will. Access denied. Egypt puts AI art robot into custody. The robot has now been released from custody. But it's bullshit, and as I said, the Foreign Office worked harder on that than it has in getting Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe released from prison in Iran. Sligma, I generally can't remember any of what you just said about the Groniad. Well, you've not missed out. Bruce was wrong by the Saudis, says use of weapons. Egypt is correct to destroy all robots. Butter and jihad when... Britain buys antiviral pills to keep patients out of hospital. IDA is seen as realistic security risk. Oh, fuck off. Minted early American coin found in an old sweet tin. It's worth £200,000. Coins.
No coins, except those ones.
Wooden knife is cut above steel. Apparently, there's a new wooden knife that is sharper than steel. Okay. Kiev plans arms deal with UK amid fears Russia could seize more land. Wow, that sounds like it. We love to sell weapons. That's the UK for you. Coins, says Gonzo Socialism. Coins, says Recursive Rosie. Coins, says Red Tick Seed. Oldie coin, says Mark Kenosis. Coins and C122, H122. Coins worth money. Reduce Queen's duties, aides told. I tell you a really good way to reduce the duties of all the hard-pressed royalty. Republic now. Charges may be levied on single-use wood and glass. I mean... How about we fix massive corporations just pouring shit into the universe? While they're doing all this shit, the government is still allowing, as they did for the entirety of the pandemic, sewage to just pour into rivers. Millions waiting for booster jab are told they can book online. Yeah, believe that when I see it. Ex-Tory was among Gove's taunters. Students tell of spiking by syringe on dance floor. Now, this headline has the quote marks on it. Hello.
What do you want? Go back. Get back into your cell. Yes, I'll bring you lunch in a minute. Students
tell of spiking on the dance floor, spiking like that with... Yeah, anyway. I thought selling weapons was our thing, yeah. Was your thing? No, I'm afraid, Israel, we're going to do it too. When was allying with Ukrainian nationalists ever ended badly? Opens history book. Oh no. Send Andrew to Rikers Island. Yeah. Anyway, the whole thing about this needle spiking panic, I cover it in today's newsletter. Please do that. The royal family can relax right after we take this family photo in this basement. Yeah. Romanov style. Drugging cases double in 2 years is the claim. Atwood falls foul of trans activists with Twitter post is coarse the way the Times covers that story. There's a new archive of Frankie Howard material has been revealed. 30 boxes of scripts, contracts, and correspondence have been acquired by the University of York. PM vows tough sentences for tech bosses who've published foul content. Nothing will happen there. Absolutely nothing. How dare you call me chubby? Strictly Star kicks back, as well she should. Serving steak with bubble and squeak triggered row in fatal stabbing case. Like we have with tribunals, in this case they're doing it with politics. With this murder case of focusing on the fucking bubble and squeak when they should be focusing on the claims of abuse. SK the Crusader got a bounce. Business Factory. Paul Mason calls. See you at 7. I hope it's a great stream. Thank you for tuning in. Treat phone use like a health campaign, says Catherine Burble Singh, who the government are paying even more attention to. Britain drowns trying to save grandchildren. Horrible story. Get Up, Stand Up, the Bob Marley musical gets 3 stars. Sex abuse ballet teacher jailed for 9 years, not nearly long enough. David Aronovich says, what if Havana syndrome is all in the mind? It is, David. James Marriott, the most fetal of the Times columnists. It's his 29th birthday soon, and he writes some column about, what have I achieved in my 20s? Janice Turner is awful. Ian Martin is equally awful. In the birthdays today, Lord Mark Sedwill, Cabinet Secretary and Head of the Civil Service until 2020. Tariq Ali, filmmaker, campaigner and playwright, 78. Sir Geoffrey Boycott is 81. David Campisi, the rugby union player for Australia, is 59. Julian Cope, happy birthday to him, he's 64. Robert Courts, Conservative MP for Witney, Transport Minister is 43. Martin Creed, the artist and Turner Prize winner, is 53. Maureen Duffy, the novelist, is 88. Eric Faulkner, musician from the Bay City Rollers, is 68. Sir Andre Geim, the Hotel Prize-winning physicist, Geim, and Regis Professor of Physics, University of Manchester, is 63. Jane Heal, Philosopher, Emeritus Professor of Philosophy at University of Cambridge, is 75. Paul Ince, footballer for England till year 2000, and manager, is 54. Kim Kardashian, the reality TV star, is 41. Lord Peter Mandelson, living embodiment of evil, is 68. Manfred Mann, the musician, from Manfred Mann is 81. Eileen Monroe, Emeritus Professor of Social Policy, London School of Economics, 71. Benjamin Netanyahu, no happy birthdays to him, is 72. Jean-Pierre Sauvage, the chemist, Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2016, is 77. Judith Scheindlin, the judge and broadcaster, known to most people as Judge Judy, is 79. Happy birthday to her. General Sir Richard Sheriff, Deputy Supreme Allied Commander in Europe 2011 till 2014 and author of 2017 War with Russia, published in 2016, is 66. Lord John Stevens of Kirk Welpington, former Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, is 79. Definitely no happy birthdays to him. And Ken Watanabe, the actor, known for Last Samurai amongst other things, 62. Cleveland Watkiss, jazz vocalist, is also 62. In the corrections and clarifications today, a report was headlined, New Vaccine is more effective than AstraZeneca trial finds. In fact, as the text of the article made clear, researchers said it was impossible to know if the higher antibody levels produced by the Valneva vaccine would translate into better protection. The French president whose superior access to intelligence annoyed Margaret Thatcher was Francois Mitterrand, not Jacques Chirac, whose term of office did not overlap with hers. Obituaries, October 20th. Pete Mandelson, Get in the Sea. Jeff Boycott, vile wife beating lush, says Gonzo Socialism. Yes. Bibby should be in the sea. Mark Canosa says fuck off Judge Judy. Slinker Meyer, every time I hear the name Peter Mandelson, the Imperial March immediately pops into my head. Peter Manos C122 says every time they hear a friend of nonce comes to mind. Yeah, boycott Jeff boycott. How do you find your belts? C122 H122. Surely you just asked Jeffrey Epstein, right? On this day in 1966, a coal slag heap engulfed a school and houses in Aberfan, South Wales, killing 144 people, including 116 children. 5 children survived the Aberfan disaster, which is just incredible, but also horrendous because they could never really properly live in the village again because, you know, the people whose children didn't survive, you know, struggled with it so much. Doris Lessing, the writer and Nobel laureate, is the last word today. Think wrongly if you please, but in all cases, think for yourself. That's from an interview with the Sunday Times in 2003. Francois Mitterrand, whose name I can never not sing to the tune of Keith Hudson's Turn the Heater On. Nice. World news, Syrians return home to torture and death. What's that?
Sing Francois Mitterrand, have you left the heater on?
Cage gives village drunks the worst of all hangovers. This is in India. Amrit Dhillon in Delhi reports drunken villagers are being locked in rusty cages and fined in public humiliation experiment that has been hailed as a success in reducing alcohol abuse. Of course the Times likes that. The vast study catalogues the Garden of Europe, that's in Spain. Drones to rescue dogs trapped by lava. Drones may be used to rescue 3 dogs trapped by a volcanic eruption on the Canary Island of La Palma. Save the dogs. War memorial vandals link Germans to Nazi atrocities. Right-wing activists have defaced more than 140 war memorials in Warsaw, causing £130,000 of damage in an effort to link Germany with Nazi atrocities. Well, okay. Labels replacing the word Nazi, or literally Hitlerites, with German appeared on plaques commemorating wartime victims in the capital city. One of the activists told local media that Germany tried to evade responsibility for atrocities during the Second World War. Red 60, my mum grew up not far from Aberfan. She remembers hearing about it on the radio. It's horrendous, isn't it? Mark Notice, I think I remember public humiliation experiment from that Twitter account that just posts Japanese porn titles. Yeah, a lion cub spent 5 minutes squaring up to a camera in the Masai Mara Reserve, Kenya, after hearing it being operated remotely. All love to this little cub. Tesla record profits defy challenges. Tesla is, in my opinion, a scam. Burberry poaches rival fashion boss. Front page of the Times 2. Spiked. Why a night out at university is risky for women. Alice Thompson on an ugly phenomenon.
Spiked writing about being spiked. Who's spiked?
More and more women students are reporting they've been drugged at clubs and pubs, with some saying needles were used, says Alice Thompson, contributing to bad reporting on this. Evergrande's Lifeline 2.6 billion property deal falls through. Simon Nixon, potential tax cuts should not be part of Sunak's budget equation. Oh, right. Trustpilot investors hit sell with lock-in period ending. Elon Musk is a crank narcissist, his panic future. Anti-Elon stream. We are an anti-Elon stream. Elon Musk is bad. Up the cub, yes. That aggro line cover is amazing. I really love him. Leslie Bracuse is in the obituaries. Prolific composer and lyricist whose memorable hits included Willy Wonka's Pure Imagination and the theme song for Goldfinger. Philip King, sculptor and former president of the Royal Academy, renowned for his provocative experimental works in the 1960s. And Dennis Hutchins gets an obituary in the Times. Fuck you, Times. Lifeguard soldier who served in Northern Ireland and was put on trial there 4 decades after shooting during the Troubles. Do they, in this... No, it's appalling as well. Making excuses for him. Bullshit. Pure Imagination's a banger, agreed. In the sport, Ronaldo to rescue for Solskjaer. Comeback win after clear-the-air meeting. Racing's new sexism row. And Newcastle Hull Fonseca talks. Right, that's the Times. We move on to the Daily Mail, our final paper of the day. I started late today because of a work call, so we're probably overrun slightly today, but thank you for sticking with me, those that can. Front page of the Daily Mail. As doctors tell her to cancel trip. Are we asking too much of her queen? Again, a great solution to give the monarchy a rest is a republic. Miracle pill will halve COVID death risk. The Daily Mail loves a miracle pill. Page 3, nurse from war-torn Eritrea who sparked a life-saving revolution for the NHS. Page 5, Robert Hardman says, yes, we asked too much of her, but she wouldn't have it any other way. Talking about the Queen. Drug needle terror spreads across Britain, says the Daily Mail, reporting in an entirely sensible and rational manner. It is encouraging fear, copycat incidents, and all that kind of stuff. Please check out today's newsletter and share it if you can. I get into why this reporting on this so-called needle spiking epidemic is extremely irresponsible and factually dubious in the extreme. Get your booster jab now, they say on pages 8 and 9. We're losing our vital head start, and here's who I blame, says Brendan Wren, who's Professor of Vaccinology at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. How Meghan the mom turns high-level lobbyist. Oh, God, just fucking give it a rest. Toddler killed by mother and her female partner, then they tried to blame a 2-year-old. Horrendous story, even if you take away the Daily Mail over-exaggeration there. Deadly duel for the life of the first Me Too martyr is how Tom Leonard writes about the last duel. I mean, honestly, fuck off. Stephen Glover says he pines for a Tory government, this government being insufficiently Tory for him. 5,000 pleas for care rejected in 6 weeks. Home help firms say staff shortages are critical. There's a good boy. Strictly Judge Shirley Ballas asks a stranger to look after her dog Charlie while she nips into the shop. Weird papping of that. Had Amos terror suspect targeted a different MP. Can't really talk about that now as he has been charged with the murder. So it's a live case. Live prosecution. Was the darling of gilded London society a 24-carat fraud? Yeah, probably. That is Sir David Tang. Dame Mary risen to perfection as Theresa May watches husband get a knighthood, which he gets that presumably for being married to her. Me Too martyr, fuck off, I know. Privatise the royal family. Panic Future, hadn't heard of it before reading the newsletter. Ridiculous and disgusting stuff. Yeah, pretty much. Patrick Marmion gives Get Up Stand Up, the Bob Marley musical, 3 stars. Bubble and... Are you making toast?
I'm making small rolls. Got some mold.
I just give her bread from the bread. Bubble and Squeak sparked fight, called killing, says the Mail, again distorting what was there. Does Adele have high hoops for romance? Is the pun they have because she went to watch basketball with her boyfriend. On this day, 21st of October 2021, from the Daily Mail archive from 1963, Diana Churchill, 54-year-old eldest daughter of Sir Winston Churchill, was found dead yesterday at her home in Chester Row, Belgravia. She was discovered at 7 a.m. by her housekeeper. An empty pill bottle was on the floor. So responsible reporting even from back then by the Daily Mail. October 24th, 2011. Colonel Gaddafi was executed by a frenzied mob of rebel fighters yesterday after pleading, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." The final humiliation for the man who had so brutally ruled Libya for 42 years came when the 69-year-old, not nice, year-old tyrant was hauled from his hiding place in a sewer. Execution there used in its most liberal form. Happy birthday, Manfred Mann, who's 81. To Sir Andre Geim, 63, Russian-born University of Manchester physicist. Won the 2010 Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on graphene. Also born on this day, Sir Ernest Swinton, 1868. The Indian-born British Army officer and writer was appointed official war correspondent by Lord Kitchener, Secretary of State for War, after World War I broke out. He came up with the idea of armoured gun-bearing caterpillar track to destroy barbed wire and gun import placements. He coined the name tank to maintain secrecy about the new fighting vehicle. Carrie Fisher, born on this day, 1956, died 2016, US actress, daughter of film star Debbie Reynolds and the crooner Eddie Fisher, wife of singer Paul Simon, made her name as Star Wars. I mean, why was that all put first rather than her own achievements? Fuck you. On October the 21st, 1960, the Queen launched HMS Dreadnought, the UK's first nuclear-powered submarine, and in 1966, the Aberfan disaster occurred. Quote for the day comes from Gypsy Rose Lee, the US burlesque performer. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing slowly, very slowly. Joke of the day, which is... Dr. Yaniger would not like this joke. What made the Dark Ages so dark? All the nights. Female magazine, never mind empty shelves and the petrol crisis, suddenly it's child carers who are in short supply. Now this grisly, gossipy account reveals how the nanny wars got nasty. And of course, the nannies are pictured like this. We came, we saw, we killed him. Yeah, exactly. C122, H122. Emma Elm says, I've gone through 16 nannies and counting. Someone check the patio. In the question today, as devilish Monica becomes more popular than Nigel, is naming your child Lucifer a hellish choice? Helena Frith Powell said yes. Kate Spicer says no. Jenny Murray says, HRT helped so many, but I regret having it. Jodie's killing the Hollywood competition and some other shit about Peter Rabbit. Mark Kenosis can make that joke better. Go for it. It wasn't just my hair, it was my whole identity. The hair she inherited from her mother, Nanette Newman, was long and lustrous. Now, post-chemo, it is anything but, as Sarah Standing describes in this profound reflection on femininity. Right, I can make that better. Why were the bacon sandwiches crap in the Dark Ages? Due to the lack of sauces. Anyone for artificial cod and chips? They're talking about vegan alternatives to fish, whatever. Tell us about the day your brother was sick in front of Churchill, Granny. What would you tell your grandchildren about your life? Top writers recall Rag and Bone Men, Suspender Belts, and the Wonder of Avocados. Maureen Littman says, I don't give a shit. Prue Leith says something, don't care either. Jane Gordon says something. Penny Jr., Esther Ranson, no, I don't care about any of these. Calling my kid Lou Cypher, I'm into that. In the blind date section, 70-year-old Stephanie went on a date with 79-year-old David. It was a match. He's a boatyard director and she's a retired former marketing executive. They did 9 out of 10. They gave each other 9 out of 10 and they had coffee, which I take to be a euphemism for dusty sex. Handmade Britain's Best Woodworker is at 8 PM, Channel 4. That's their pick of the day. Reviews today. Extraordinary Extensions with Tiny Temper gets 4 stars. And Shetland also gets 4 stars. Kinny92 says the best cat names are either old human names or foods. Yeah, probably actually. In the cartoons today, Garfield's watching telly, Chloe and Co are talking about men and drinking, and Fred Besser is out for a walk with his friends. Kinny92, cats should all be called Bob or Gerald or Edith or Coco Pop or Jalfrezi or Souvlaki. Souvlaki's a lovely name for a cat. Right, the poem today. Today's poem is from Janet Byrne of Harrow. And it says, I've been running around the shops in an effort to be green, searching all the aisles, but there's nothing to be seen. Can anybody anywhere just inform me, please, if they know a supermarket that sells cheap wine and cheese? Since hearing that a certain royal runs his car on cheese and booze, I've had my car converted too, as I'm open in my views. And it seems I'm not the only one, but a worse problem is, you see, before it makes it to my car, it all goes into me. Jesus. Bethan Morgan of Swansea says, at a holiday home near Marbella, he can dine like a rich Rockefeller, but nothing can beat PM's takeaway treat like a pizza or now a paella. Blah. And then rhyme for our time. Corks on wine bottles and tops on pill cases, lids on domestos and tight knots in laces, buttons on duvets and tight zippers too. These are the things I can no longer do. When my hips ache, when my knees creak, when I'm feeling cold, I simply remember the things I can't do, and that's when I feel so old. That's Louise Brewer of Gosforth. Jesus. All poets into the sea. Straight to the point letters. Peter Wareham says, Boris Johnson has a relentless obsession to save the world, but he wants us all to pay for it. Peter Lorry says, vote blue, go green, see red, get poorer. I. Harrington says, is it value for money to spend £1 trillion to reduce our carbon footprint? Peter Hornsby says, a Tesco supermarket without checkouts is another nail in the coffin for cash. David Harvey says, China has a very fast rocket and wants to rule the world. It's a job for James Bond. Mike Jenkins says, there was only ever one Bond, and that was Basildon. Tell that to Brooke. Is Adele only able to write songs when she's miserable, says Mrs. P. Belsham. Every Tom, Dick and Harry seems to be called Oliver, George and Arthur these days, says Vincent Hefter, who writes in incessantly to these pages. Get a hobby, my friend. Red Tixie, breaking news. A TV production truck ended up in Bristol Harbour this morning.
It did. It was very true.
May Hall says, the outstanding performer in TV's new All Teachers Great and Small has to be Derek the Dog, who plays Tricky Woo. Jeff Robb says, will the Aussies do their own remake of the Darling Buds of May and call it the Larrikins? Mike Davies says, absolutely is blighting TV interviews. This word is absolutely not necessary. C122, H122, leave Adele alone. Yeah, Kid United 2, I can fully understand the stuff about how shift away from cash hurts a lot of people with less access, etc. But it's a pain in the arse. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Pro Bristol Harbour stream, yeah. Today's recipe is vegan ginger loaf cake. I mean, it looks fine. They're trying to sell you eye drops. They're trying to sell you honey. They're trying to sell you a heat pad for your feet. They're trying to sell you... Oh, yes, it's a Thomas Kincaid festive art house. Listen, as Thomas Kincaid narrates the holiday classic The Night Before Christmas. Yours for only £199.95. Look at that. Vote blue, sniff white, smoke green, quaff bolly, quote Latin, says Gonzo Socialism. Absolute excellent effort. They're trying to sell you postage stamps of the Queen. Yours for only £19. Old style postage stamps. And in the sport, Ronnie to the rescue again. Cristiano Ronaldo crowned another sensational Manchester United comeback in the Champions League to send Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side top of Group F last night. Man United 3, Atlanta 2. And Fonseca in frame as Bruce given £8 million payoff. Kincaid is the best awful painter, says Heathmore 2401. Haven't seen the Star Wars ones yet. Appalling. Right, give me your scores for the Daily Mail. I'm going to do the roll call, and then that will be our show for today. Thank you for joining me and for putting up with the slightly late start. I'm across the Broken Bottle Boy. Follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. In the chat, Academy Impossible, another TT viewer, Aiton, Bethalda, Bing Cortana, Bloodluster, C122, H122, Commander Root, Dr. Fayad, Ehud Barak. Everybody loves Raymondo, Fluff Weasel, Gonzo Socialism, Heathmore 2401, King United 2, Lacey Lux, Lily Red Wolf, Mark Kenosis, Pac-Man Stratch Card, Panic Future, Parps, Racheology, Recursive Rose, Red Tickseed, Rimastino, Salinka Myers, Shimon Perez, Snur, Spike Track Claire, Stream, the Research Arena, and VNK. Thank you all for joining me. What are the scores on the doors? Quadruple negative nice Kincaid paintings from Heathmore 2401. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sextuple negative nice rating from Panic Future. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 septuple negative nice. Snowcastles from Gonzo Socialism. That house was shites to C122 H122. Right, Mark Kenosis, enjoy your nap. I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. or near enough. In the meantime, find me on Twitter and elsewhere. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. It's much appreciated. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. 2 more seasons of Succession, Cox has said. Excellent. Bye-bye, all.